Alright, what's up guys? A little bit cold out here, about 38 degrees, so if I'm sniffling or anything, that's probably why. I wasn't really planning on filming anything today, but and I've never really done any kind of blogging or vlogging content, so we'll see how this goes. But I was coming out to shoot my recurve and I figured, why not? Let's turn on the camera, see what happens. But I thought maybe at least somebody might find this interesting. My recurve journey. So I've shot recurve in the past, but never really very seriously. And the last few years been hunting with the compound, so I'm pretty familiar with that. But about 6 months ago, I decided, hey, why not try it with the recurve? So I got a pretty decent, well-known style of bow off the internet, Black Hunter recurve. It's a 50 pound, and figured that was a good bow to start out with. I'm pretty comfortable with 70 pounds on my compound, so I thought 50 pounds would be pretty good. I've just been playing around with it with basically some random old arrows that I had for the last 6 months or so, off and on. Whenever I had some time, just come out here, shoot a couple arrows, just to get my full draw down and my anchor point and that kind of thing. But finally this weekend, I built some dedicated arrows and shot a handful of them the other day, just to see how they work, and they seem to be working pretty good. So that's what we're out here doing today. I've got the main idea of my anchor point down. I like where I'm setting. I just haven't done it enough to get the feel for it and to really dial that in. So that's my goal today, and to work on my aim style, I guess you can call it. I think I'm pretty set. I think I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna go with a thought I heard somebody, just chickens. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stick with a fixed crawl for hunting and for 3D archery. I'm gonna try and do some of that this spring if I feel confident enough. I think I'll be okay. But so I'm dropping down the string a little bit. I'm still kind of dialing in my exact location before I put a soft knot on there. But I don't know. We're just gonna mess around today and see what happens. I'm gonna do pretty much all my shooting today from the standard 20-yard line, and try and get this distance nailed down as best I can. So let's go for it. Hope you like this kind of stuff. If you do, let me know. If you don't watch it. But here we go. I fired a couple just to make sure I remember how to do it. Beginner's luck. I will be amazed if I can keep that up. Uh, I'm as shocked as you guys are right now. I was not expecting that. The arrows I've been using are actually from an old compound bow, and they have not been anywhere near this consistent. And nor have I. I've been playing with my anchor point and everything. Excuse me. I'm filming over here. But I was not expecting a group like that. Which I just recently, like in the last few weeks, even learned about actual aiming techniques with the recurve. So it's amazing how big of an improvement that and a good set of arrows can do for you. Pretty happy with that group. Let's go check it out. I'll be honest, that's the best group I've shot in 6 months. And it's crazy that I just got that on camera. But let's do some more, see what happens. Got gloves on, need to use my arrow puller. So let's talk for just a second about the aiming style or the shooting style that I'm using right now. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with it, or think I will be happy with it. As you can see, that was a pretty darn good group for only using it for like a week or two. But I think I'm gonna stick with a fixed crawl, which for those of you who may not know, a lot of us were taught as kids to shoot with 2 under, 1 over, which is 2 fingers under and 1 finger over the arrow. And that's a good, fun way to just get out there and shoot and have a good time. And a lot of people can get pretty good at that. But it's more difficult to use the arrow shaft or the tip of the arrow as an aiming reference, because it drops the arrow further down away from your eye. So a lot of times the arrow is going to be coming back somewhere around here, and you have that big gap between the arrow and your eye. And also it's more difficult to judge distances because the arrow will be leaving your bow at a higher angle, and it's a little bit more difficult to judge that arch of the arrow. But if you use a crawl method, which is to put all fingers below the arrow and estimate your distance by moving your fingers down the string, and that will level out the arrow so you don't have as much of an arc at that first, say, 15 to 30 yard distance. And if you're doing a true crawl, you would position your finger at different points along the string depending on whatever distance you were shooting, and you know that requires just figuring out the angle of the arrow at each distance. But a fixed crawl is finding a set position on the string that kind of centers the arc of your arrow at those distances, if that makes any sense. So there is a little bit of change between, say, your average hunting distance of 10 to 25 yards, but it reduces that variance. So it brings the arrow up closer to your eye. So when you're drawing, the arrow's up here and gives you a more accurate reference to the angle of the arrow. And with a fixed crawl, you're decreasing all those gaps, like I said, but you're still having to understand the distance and what they call gap shoot. At 20 yards, you may be 1.5 feet below the target, and at say 15 yards, you may be only 10 inches below the target or something like that. So you still are not exactly putting the point of the arrow on the target every time, but it's not as far away as a 1 over 2 under grip or shooting style. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I'm doing. So when you see me set up, I don't have an exact point on the string that I know I'm going to use yet, so I'm kind of still just playing with it. But I have kind of figured out at 20 yards what that gap is. So when you see me in my shot process, I'll measure out with my fingers, and then that gives me a reference of where I want to set on the string. So I usually measure out with my fingers there, and then I know I'll be set in that position on the string. But it's one of those things that you just got to play with it yourself and see what you like, see what works for you. And trying all the different styles is a good way to learn the pros and cons of each style and help you develop your own style. So archery is very much an individual sport. There's a lot of things that work for a lot of people, and there's some things that just won't work for you. So try what you can and get out there and have fun. Let's shoot some more. That's more like what I was expecting. I think I may have anchored with the wrong finger. I think I anchored I like to anchor my middle finger to this tooth right here. I can feel that tooth really good. And I think I just anchored with my index finger. So that's what repetitions will get you. It'll send you a better signal that your form is incorrect. That's the point we need to get to with reps. Well, maybe I don't know what I messed up, but something's not right. I was backwards. I was trying to index with the middle finger, but I need to be hitting that anchor point with the index finger. And then you go and do something like that where you're overthinking everything and it all just feels wrong. I'll have to look at the video. I wonder if I didn't crawl on that one. Those last two felt better. Let's do some more. I felt myself close my shoulders up on that shot. I wasn't opening up and pulling all the way through. That was a little better, but I flinched. I didn't follow through with it. It can be kind of overwhelming at times, thinking about every single step you have until you get all that muscle memory and that repetition down. But you just gotta keep going. It's really easy for me sometimes to start overthinking, and then when I'm thinking about all the different aspects in the middle of the shot, I start to doubt myself, and that's when, as you can see, my groups open up. So you just got to trust yourself sometimes and just be confident with the shot, follow through. All right, let's see if we can get back at it this next 6. That group felt pretty good. Let's see if I can repeat that feeling. There's something about that feeling when you see one go straight in the middle. That's what makes it addicting. You just want that every time. I know I'm not ready yet for deer season, but I got till September. I think I'll be ready by then. I think I'm gonna stay out here, shoot a few more arrows. Hope you enjoyed this video. If it's something you like, let me know. Maybe I'll do some more of them. If it doesn't get any views, maybe I won't. But let me know what you think about doing a 300 series. I'm kind of thinking, since I'm gonna be practicing a lot this summer, maybe I'll do a 30 days of 300 series or something like that, and thinking maybe I'll pick something each 300 round to focus on, and then full circle see how much it brings it all together. So like, comment, subscribe, tell me you hate this, tell me you love it, and thanks for checking out. We'll see you guys next time.
Like, subscribe, click the notification bell.